found an interview from BBC, and it's a weekly interview, and it gives a person from the areas of science, photography, or the arts a chance to express a radical idea that they believe could change the world. And the issue expressed this particular week was from biologist and primatologist Franz de Waal, and his idea was that people would be able to go about their daily life for a day without using symbolic language, which means that they could still scream, sigh, shout, touch, laugh, but he didn't want people to speak. And he wanted people to continue to express their feelings towards other people without language, sort of to suppress backstabbing and nastiness, and to tell rivals that they are rivals to their face. Sort of like in social media nowadays, how there can be drama and fights on Facebook or Twitter. And my personal opinion of this, I thought it was really cool. And this all got me to thinking, to what extent does nonverbal communication contribute to feelings and expressions felt between people? And I have a little activity that I want to try with us. I'm going to pick a person in the audience and have them try to express an emotion to the rest of the audience without using language, so basically only using body language and facial expressions, like the game of charades. And the rest of us are going to try to guess that emotion. So may I have a volunteer? Marissa. All right. Please step forward. All right. What do we think she's feeling right now? Angry. Yeah, she's definitely feeling angry. And we can tell this through her facial expressions and the way that she's being forceful, firm. And I'll do one more exercise like this. Can I have one more volunteer, please? Yes, please. What do we think that's like?
Excited, happy.
Happy and excited. Bingo. We can tell that through her body language and through her facial expressions. And this made me curious to think, to what extent do people use body language consciously or subconsciously in their daily lives? And then you have to define what body language is. And body language is the communication through gestures, facial expressions, and postures, such as smiling, laughter, holding hands, basically touching, snarling, or eye contact. And people seem to trust body language more than the spoken word because it's much more difficult for people to lie through their body language instead of speaking a lie. And this is very much used in politics. It's probably the most necessary trait used to be a good politician, is to have good body language, such as in the recent presidential debates. On the left here we have Governor Romney and President Obama. President Obama making a point, with Governor Romney sitting poised and proper, ready to participate in the debate. While in the right here, we have President Obama looking down, slouching almost, and not participating in the debate, showing poor body language, and thus he lost the first debate, so the media says. And this was basically what not to do politically when debating. But it's not just in politics that we find body language being a main contributor to things. That I found in certain faiths, silence and body language is key. And such as Buddhism, Catholicism, certain reaches of Catholicism and Hinduism, for various reasons and depths. Such as Buddhist monks may take a vow of silence to reach a higher enlightenment for their lives, while a Catholic priest or a Catholic monk may not speak for months or years on end in certain faiths, to only speak in vocal prayer or in singing religious songs and hymns. But they still contribute to their religion by expressing minimal body movements and facial patterns for necessity or religious purposes. But still, with that, not just religions or politics are expressing body language, but an everyday example would be famous author and poet Maya Angelou. She took a vow of silence when she was just a young girl after having a traumatic experience of being raped as a child by her mother's boyfriend. And she spoke up to her mother about it. Her mother told the federal police, and the man was arrested, but he was soon released after. And days after he was released, he was found dead, apparently kicked to death or beaten to death. And she feared that her words had the power to kill him, so she stopped speaking altogether. And then, along with thinking how body language could possibly express the things we want to express, I wondered if body language would possibly cause us to feel certain things or certain ways. And I found a TED Talk actually while I was researching called "Your Body Language Shapes Who You Are." And Amy Cuddy, and her team of scientists discovered that body language can actually affect how you feel and how you act. She makes a note of saying that simply trying to use one of her power poses, as she calls it, can raise levels of testosterone and cortisol in your body and actually boost your confidence. Testosterone being the dominance hormone in the body, and cortisol being the stress hormone in the body. So she and her team decided to do an experiment where she had a sample of people, a small sample of people, and told them to either sit in a high power pose, as I'm doing straight now, such as sitting like this, or sitting like this, basically very relaxed, or in a powerful position, such as they call this the Superwoman, as they even call it. They also had people sit in a low power pose, such as something like this, or like this, trying to make yourself very small and very weak-seated. And this was the most weak, grabbing your neck or holding onto your neck, very much showing that you're very vulnerable and wishing to protect yourself. And so they found that after only sitting like that for 2 minutes, they took a sample before and after the experiment of their saliva to see what the differences would be in testosterone and cortisol, and they found that a 20% increase in testosterone was achieved in the high power poses patients, and a 10% decrease was found in the lower pose people. Also with their cortisol, the high power poses had a 25% decrease in their cortisol. And the low power poses had a 15% increase in their cortisol, actually showing to help conclude that these people had an actual physical and emotional change in their behavior at the end of their experiment. So, in total, it can be inferred that symbolic language can be used as much or even more so than the spoken word, body language being particular. And through hormonal changes in our body language can in fact actually affect the way we feel emotionally and physically. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Yes.
Do you think it's possible to convey how you feel or have a conversation just through body language?
I think it could be possible. Maybe not a how was your day experience, something like that, but maybe like how are you, and you can be like smiling, or vice versa, you can be frowning, and something small to that extent, if that helps your question. Any further questions? Yes?
Okay. You said early in your presentation that you can trust body language more than like verbal language. Why is that?
I feel that it is much more easy to weave a lie through body language, such as like, I'm wearing purple pants right now. I'm not wearing purple pants right now. And such that it'd be difficult for me to say that I'm not happy through body language if I was smiling. You understand?
So you can't like you can't like fake your body language, like you're saying it can't be artificial.
It's not impossible, but it's much more difficult.
So it's like more subconscious than when
Yes.
you talk.